Hi, and welcome to the family. Today we're joined by Randy Sulltrop in St. Louis, and he's going to give us some tips and pointers on how to extend the life of our two-way radio systems and get the best performance out of them. All right, Randy, you have some tried and true methods of working through this equipment to make sure that it's going to last the longest and it's going to perform the best for our customers. Can you just kind of give us a rundown on your process and your thinking?
Sure, Mark. Well, let's first start off with the repeater. Have lots of customers with repeaters. Basically, we go out, we check the transmit side of the repeater, we check the receive side of the repeater. This also checks the antenna. We also like to physically check the antenna, make sure there's nothing physically damaged with the antenna, typically on the roof, although sometimes antennas can be indoors as well. So make sure there's no damage or something has changed. Somebody tried to move the antenna, which would cause a problem. Mobile radios, pretty much the same way, checking transmit, receive, antenna. With the portables, checking transmit and receive as well. Something that we've found also over the years, loose antennas, they just by handling them, the antennas can come loose, which makes a poor connection, which causes transmit and receive problems. Batteries. Batteries need to be replaced every 2, 3, 4 years. It just depends on the manufacturer. So yeah, with your specific make and model radio, we can tell you what the life expectancy is of a portable battery. Also, if the customer uses speaker microphones or earpieces, a lot of times they don't have enough portables to go around, so they're always plugging and unplugging.
Different shifts.
Different shifts, yes. So that can damage wear on these connectors here, which can cause intermittent problems. Typically, though, when performing preventative maintenance on a portable, we like to bring the radio in for our bench techs to work on. That way, if there's an intermittent problem, it's on the bench. They can set it aside, come back to it a little while later, and check and make sure whatever they fixed is working.
Okay.
So.
And if I understand it correctly, the customer, instead of like bringing their entire fleet in at one time and being without radios, they can bring in a handful at a time.
Yes.
and rotate them.
Right.
That's great. And these, especially these handheld units, they probably see a lot of wear and tear.
Yes.
People
yes.
dropping them.
They get dropped, kicked, sure.
All right.
So.
Now, there's also these uninterrupted power supplies. Say that 3 times fast. Battery backup, basically. So I would imagine a lot of those need to be checked regularly as well.
Yes. UPS's battery backups should be checked once a year as well, just to make sure that nothing has happened to them. UPS's typically in the menu, you can go through and have the UPS itself perform a self-check. With battery backup, we have equipment that we can hook to the battery and test it to make sure that it's up to snuff. With battery backup, there's 2 kinds of batteries. There's a wet cell and a sealed battery. Starting some years ago, we switched everything over to a sealed AGM type battery. What that means is that it's maintenance free in the part of not having to check it ever so many months to add water, but it's still a good idea to have it checked once a year.
These are the things you want to work when they need to work.
Yeah.
The stuff that's normally out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
That's where we come in. That's where you come in.
And you can go for years and never have a power outage. But when you do, you want to make sure that this equipment can still work with the loss of AC power.
Absolutely. So, what would you say to somebody that's just hasn't really given this much thought and is now thinking that this is a good idea? What would
I'd say give us a call. We'll get you on the schedule, and we'll get you taken care of.
and maybe even consider a service contract?
Yes, yeah. That way, with the service contract, we would come out once a year and check everything over.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Randy.
You're welcome, Mark.